Kamala Harris has a Joe Biden problem. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Thursday, October 31st. Happy Halloween and Diwali. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. The vice president is being trailed by President Biden's gaffes. On Tuesday, Harris delivered her closing argument to voters at a D.C. rally in clear and simple language. The White House was illuminated behind her. But just moments earlier, that's where President Biden had been speaking to an advocacy group on a video call. And his message was a lot less clear. Biden sounded like he called supporters of Donald Trump garbage. At least that's how Republicans are framing it. The White House claims he was saying that Trump supporters' racist remarks were garbage. So yesterday, Harris sought to distance herself from the comments.
Listen, I think that, first of all, he clarified his comments, but let me be clear, I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. You heard my speech last night and continuously throughout my career.
This episode is another indication of the complexities that Biden poses for Harris's bid for the White House. Since dropping out of the race and endorsing Harris, he hasn't played a very visible role in her campaign. Harris has said that her administration, if she wins, would be different from Biden's. But she hasn't said exactly how. Number 2. The Supreme Court allowed Virginia to remove about 1,600 people from its voter rolls. Back in August, Virginia's Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin signed an order to expedite the removal of some registered voters. Officials said their driver's license applications suggested they were not U.S. citizens. But the effort was opposed by the Justice Department and civil rights groups. They said many people being kicked off the rolls were actually eligible and were targeted because of outdated or incorrect information. And yesterday, the Supreme Court's conservative majority cleared the way for Virginia officials to remove them. You should expect to hear about more of this kind of legal battling before and after Election Day, which is only a few days away. The presidential race is essentially tied, and the Supreme Court is increasingly being drawn into election-related disputes. These are brewing largely in battleground states, such as Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Nevada. Number 3. North Korea launched its most powerful ballistic missile yet. North Korea has been trying to develop a ballistic missile which can carry a nuclear warhead that can reach the United States. And yesterday, it launched one without a nuke that soared further than ever before. It reached an altitude of 4,350 miles. That's 17 times higher than the International Space Station. The launch came just hours after U.S. and South Korean defense officials condemned North Korea's deployment of troops to Russia. Tensions are rising in the wake of the news that North Korea has sent thousands of troops to help fight Russia's war against Ukraine. Number 4. At least 95 people have died in severe flooding in Spain. As much as a foot of rain fell late Tuesday in and around the eastern city of Valencia. Some places were hit by a year's worth of rain in just a few hours. And the consequences were devastating. The water swept away cars, flooded homes, and even destroyed a bridge. One resident of an affected area said the waters rose within minutes as neighbors called out to each other in fear. The full toll of the disaster may not become clear for days as rescuers continue to search for missing people. The storm follows record-high temperatures in the Mediterranean this summer. Scientists say warmer ocean waters create an atmosphere capable of holding more moisture, and that can supercharge storms. For the first time in the U.S., bird flu was detected in a pig. That's our 5th story. The U.S. Agricultural Department said yesterday that at least one pig at a backyard farm in Oregon had been infected with the H5N1 virus. This is the strain of bird flu that has swept through the nation's poultry and dairy cows. It's also sickened at least 31 people. They developed only mild symptoms. But public health experts have been worried about the virus jumping to pigs. That's because pigs can become co-infected with bird and human viruses. And that allows genes to swap to form a new, more dangerous virus that could more easily infect humans. The Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
The Dodgers went into last night's game at Yankee Stadium with a 3-1 lead in the best-of-7 series. And with the help of a remarkable rally in the 5th inning, the Dodgers sealed the championship in Game 5. The 7-6 victory over New York gave the Dodgers their 8th championship in franchise history, and helped cement this current group's legacy. The Dodgers have spent big to build a star-studded team, but until last night had only one recent World Series title to show for it. That came in 2020, when the MLB season was shortened by the start of the coronavirus pandemic. First baseman Freddie Freeman claimed MVP honors after hitting 4 home runs in the series. And at number 7, a carved curse was found in a spooky medieval house in England. Gainsborough Old Hall is a more than 500-year-old manor house in central England. It already had a pretty spooky history. Visitors have reported spotting ghosts in the creaky old building. But this week it got even spookier. English Heritage announced that several weird markings had been found on the house's walls, and one in particular caught people's interest. It appeared to be the name of a previous owner, the merchant William Hickman, and it was carved upside down. At the time, it was thought that writing a name upside down was effectively a defacement or corruption, or in other words, someone tried to curse him. Hickman was notoriously unpopular in his lifetime. He was despised by locals for levying tolls on river goods and enclosing areas of common land. If you're looking for a Halloween scare today, you can find a photo of the carving and other markings from the house in our newsletter. Find a link to that in our show notes. All right, you're all caught up. For your next listen, check out our afternoon news podcast, Post Reports. It's where our reporters take a deeper dive into the news. Recent episodes took listeners to a border city where Trump is gaining Latino voters. And there's also the story of a woman who said she had a miscarriage and then got arrested. Find both those episodes and more by searching Post Reports wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe to the show and leave it a friendly rating. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.